Hey all, this is Nichanko, and today I'm gonna be showing you the presentation I made using C++ and openFrameWorks. In the presentation I'm gonna show you the works I made some time ago. Yeah, so let's start from seeing the presentation itself. Take some time to compile. And yeah, so the idea is that I'm using two different transitions. So one is going with the picture from top to the bottom, and as you saw you just saw the fade in effect. So here is again the top to the bottom moving picture, and well, here again you can see the fade in effect. Well, the problem I get with the fade in effect is that it crashes my colors. I don't know why. You can see it again here, I guess. Yeah, like you can see it, it's strange colors, not as they used to. Here you can see how they were in the fact. So yeah. And here is the last picture, and it fades out, screen goes to black, and that's basically it. After that, the presentation gonna loop and start from the beginning. So yeah, now let's go into the code itself. So yeah, well, let's start from the main, because it's main. First I create a window, set its height, width, and declare that it's gonna be window width. I don't want it full screen because my screen capture software doesn't support capturing full screen. I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. So if I would like it to have it full screen, then I would just write here off full screen. Then I start out the test app, and test app starts with a header. I don't know if it starts, but it has to have this test app .h file where I declare all my functions, different variables, images, and etc., which are gonna be using in the program itself. So yeah, first I get my images, load my images, then to each image I give the number in the array, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't be confused if it goes like 1, 0, 2, just because I changed the sequence of the pictures in the presentation, so I can simply change it back. Yeah, and the only thing that will change is the sequence of the picture. So now this is gonna be first, and this one gonna be second one. Okay, then I set the values to my variables I'm gonna be using later. Here number equals 1, I use it for getting a random number is the random number I'm gonna be using to check which transition I want to use. Oh, sorry for scrolling up and down again. So then I have my screens with height, and I set it to be red, green, blue. Then I get my counter to 0. Counter is gonna be used to loop through the functions, to loop through the transitions. Well, I'll explain how it works later. So then I get my total pixels. Well, total pixels is actually this, but since I'm using RGB, and for each red, green, and blue I'm gonna be using different data, so total pixels is this, width, height by 3 colors. Then I'm gonna set my first picture to 0, which is my, well, first picture. Then this is gonna be used later, and yeah, well, here I declare my characters array, I guess. I know, yeah, I guess it is. I'm now kind of confused. Okay, here we get to the presentation itself. Here, my update function, I first set screen to the black. Then here we have again our counter. So how I use it is that each time I loop through the whole program, I'll just show you. Each time I go till here, my counter gets +1 value. So if it was 0, then it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Each time I loop through the program until it gets till 90. So yeah. Yeah, and if it gets till 90, it will generate me a random number, well, till 2, so 0 and 1, which are representing my transitions. So I have 2 transitions, and I have 2 numbers. Then I go to the second picture, and then I set all the values back to 0, and continue the program. So here I declare that if I have my last picture, which is sign, which represents my 10th picture, last one, I use second transition, well, transition number 2, which is actually third transition, and third transition is my fade out effect you saw in the last picture. With the last picture, when picture just turns blank, well, because it's last one. Well, I will not lie, from the beginning it had to be another transition, as as picture becomes black and then it becomes second picture. Well, you probably saw that somewhere else, but it didn't work, so I just became creative and used it in one place. Yeah, so then let's go back to the place we were. Okay, so here, yeah, the second transition. Here, this I only used for the first presentation to show you, to make sure that all the to make sure that all the transitions are gonna be showed at least once. So I just, yeah, that doesn't matter. Next we get to our switch case, where I check this number, which was first number 1. Then yeah, so let's see how program works. It's like it gets number 1 from the beginning, then it goes to case 1, which is my moving picture transition, where picture goes from top to the bottom. And here I just get my picture and get the value of pixels. I made the new pixels with the new picture. So, and this is the total pixels. So first it's 0, then I add 10,000 and one more time 10,000. I made it 2 times because I couldn't use this value to, I couldn't make this value to be bigger because that would make program crash. Again, I don't know why this is happening. So, and if I'm gonna make it just 1 time, it's gonna be slow. So I just used it 2 times. Yeah, that's stupid, but this is how it works here. Then I have my counter set to 0, and I made it because like every time I go through the loop I add this amount of pixels, and I don't want the program to, before I finish this like my function, I don't want the program to go to the next picture. So I just set counter to 0, and then my whole picture will be loaded. So this is gonna be equal or bigger to this value. The counter is gonna start counting, and this time gonna be used to view the picture. So yeah, then I have my case 0. So let's imagine that program got back to the beginning, and in the counter got to 90, and new number generated. So let's imagine it is 0. So I can simply explain how my case 0 works now, and yeah, I just took it from the one we were taught in the lecture and used it here. So I fade my picture by 20, and so it's like gonna be how many 550 frames until picture goes completely visible. And again, I use the counter here for the same reason. So yeah, this is how it basically works, my two transitions. Yeah. Yeah. So let's view what else I didn't told you. So okay, here I got my case 3. Yes, you saw only like three transitions, like 2.5 transitions, but this one I couldn't make it work. It just makes picture move from left to the right, the same way it was from top to the bottom, but I don't know why I didn't manage to make it work. So well, and it gives me an error. It works, but it gives me error message. I can just simply show you here now so you'll understand what I'm talking about, and it's very, very annoying. So yeah, compiling. As you can see, picture moved to here it stops, and program crashes. So yeah, so I just didn't use it at all, but I kept it here. Maybe in the future I will manage to develop this transition, but for now on it doesn't work. Okay, so my program finishes with loading and drawing the picture. So here's the counter I explained you before. Here I declare how I want to see the window. So this is my width and height, which are common in, and here 0, 0 is my frame. So if I, for example, set 50, 50 and run the program, you'll see I get the black frame here. So yeah, well, I guess that's basically it. These all functions are pre-made, then you open the new file, so I will not explain them because I didn't use them. I don't know how to use them. But as for my program, I think I explained you everything, and this concludes my video.